today's activity, we are going to go through methods for proving triangles congruent. So when we're finished, our notebook is going to look something like this. You're going to have 3 envelopes on one side with methods and cards, and you're going to have 3 envelopes on the other side with methods and cards as well. That's what our end result is going to look like today. Okay, so we start off, we have this packet, we cut out each individual card, so I end up with a stack like this, okay? So we'll go through the cards here. Let's pick one to start with. Let's just start sorting. So the first one that I come across with letters on it is, which one you want to start with? Which set of letters? Let's do SSS. So everybody find the SSS card. So this whole stack that we're going to do is going to be involving side, side, side. So SSS, first off, I would jot down on the card, stands for side, side, side. Okay, what that means, so you remember in the previous lesson, we talked about if you have congruent triangles, you have all 6 pairs of parts congruent, right? We would mark them on the picture. Everybody remember what I'm talking about here? We would list out the parts that are congruent. So the methods we're going through today are kind of like shortcuts. You only need a certain 3 pairs of congruent parts to prove the triangle's congruent. So notice, does this have any A's in it? No, it has S's. So if you know that all 3 pairs of sides are congruent, hence the side, 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 that is enough to prove the triangle's congruent. Okay, so let's sort through our cards. Does anybody see one picture-wise that looks like all 3 pairs of sides are congruent? Remember we show congruence with tick marks. So look at your picture. So I'm looking for something like this. Obviously, does this one show all 3 sides are congruent? No, the arc marks mean what? Angles. So I'm not going to pick this one. So can you find one that's got all 3 sides marked? I'm going to sort through mine until I find it. Okay, so mine I think looks like this. Everybody have that one? Okay, so notice this one I'm going to put at the top in case I accidentally dump them out. This one is side, side, side. I'm going to put SSS on it. Okay, how we know it's side, side, side is because it has 3 pairs of sides congruent. I'm just going to use a little color. So like segment AC is congruent to segment DO. Everybody see that? It's got 1 tick mark to show that. Segment, and it's up to you if you want to use color or not. Segment CT is congruent to segment DG. They each have 2 tick marks. And then last but not least, segment AT is congruent to segment OG. They've got 3 tick marks. So again, this is what side, side, side could look like. Again, you know nothing about the angles. All you know is that the 3 pairs of sides are congruent. Okay, so now if you've got that, I want you to sort through cards that look like this. Can you find ones that have just 3 pairs of sides listed? For example, am I going to pick this one that's on the screen here? Does this one have all 3 sides? No, this one's got an angle, so I'm not going to pick this one. So keep sorting until you find the one that has just 3 pairs of sides listed. Okay, I found it. It looks like this. Okay, hopefully you did too. So this one, I'm also going to label in the corner, side, side, side. This one goes with this picture because we know segment CA is congruent to segment DO. Notice I highlighted that in yellow. Okay, it says segment AT is congruent to segment OG. Notice in the picture I highlighted that in green. And then last but not least, it says segment CT is congruent to segment DG. I highlighted that in pink. So if I was looking for it written out of what side, side, side looks like, it would be this kind of card. It would be I have 3 pairs of sides. And notice at the end, I have congruent triangles. That's going to be our end result. We want to end up with congruent triangles. So notice this would be like triangle CAT right here is congruent to triangle DOG right there. So again, I have congruent triangles. The last thing I want to sort through is the words. So what I'm talking about are like these cards here. Can you find one? This is what the side, side, side actually says in words, if I was curious about it as a sentence. So can you find which one you think is talking about side, side, side? It should say something about 3 sides. So obviously it's not this one because it says 2 sides and an angle. Okay, so I'm thinking some of you have found it. It's this one here. Okay, so key things here, it says you're going to have 3 sides congruent. That's the key there. You got 3 sides that are congruent. Okay, so this one is also side, side, side. So you should have 4 cards that represent what side, side, side is. Okay, am I going too fast for anybody? So those are my 4 cards I have for side, side, side. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to take one of the envelopes. We're going to go through 6 of these. What I want you to do is tuck in this flap like this, because we're going to make pockets out of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick our 4 cards in the pocket. And then on the pocket here, we're going to do a little quick reference. Okay, so this method was called what? Okay, so on the front of the envelope, I'm going to write SSS. This one was side, side, side. You don't have to use color. It is completely optional. Okay, so what else I want you to do for your own benefit on your envelope here is to draw a picture of what side, side, side looks like. So if we have 2 triangles, if I'm going too fast, please just ask me nicely to slow down. I'll be happy to. So if I have 2 triangles, side, side, side would look like here's one pair of sides with tick marks. Here's another pair of sides with tick marks. And here's a third pair of sides with tick marks. So this is what side, side, side looks like. Okay, another option of what side, side, side looks like is if they're touching each other. So for example, let's see here. Let's draw it like this. You see how these 2 triangles are touching each other the way I drew it? Okay, so it would look like, okay, this side's congruent to that one. This side's congruent to that one. And if they share a side, we can say that's congruent to itself. We'll talk about this a little bit more next week, but this is the reflexive property. If something is equal to itself, it's the same side in both triangles. Okay, so this is what side, side, side envelope is going to look like here. So we're going to go through 6 envelopes. Hopefully we'll get a little bit better at this by the time we're finished. Okay, so when you're done with this one, I want you to just put it off to the side. We'll attach them all to the notebook at the end. So we've got 4 pieces done, right? We've got plenty more to go through. Okay, do I need to pause for a moment yet? Okay. Anybody still working on this one? Okay, so I'm going to set it off to the side because I don't want to pick these cards. I've used them already, okay? So what do you want to do next for the next one? What letters we want to use? Say that again? SAS. So find the SAS cards. Okay, SAS, hopefully we figured this out by now, stands for side, angle, side. Side angle side. Okay. So if you look through the cards, let's do the picture one next. Which picture looks like it's side angle side? Okay. I found it. I'll give you a moment to think through this here. Okay. So I think side angle side looks like this one. So I'm going to write side angle side in the corner in case I lose them. Again, that's what side angle side looks like. So the reason this one is side angle side, notice you have a side here with 2 tick marks. You have an angle here next to it, right? And you have another side with 3 tick marks. Can you picture, or do you notice how the angle is between the 2 sides? Everybody with me on that one? See, the angle is between the 2 sides. It's formed by the 2 sides. These 2 sides that are marked form this angle. These 2 sides that are marked form this angle. Okay? So if I want to find the card next that has the parts listed out, it would be, let's see here, it's not that one. I don't have this preset for you guys, so that's probably a good thing. Okay, let's see, does this one work? Bless you. So is CT congruent to DG in my picture? CT, DG, yep. AT is congruent to OG in my picture, yep. And angle T is congruent to angle G. So again, AT congruent to OG. If you're color coding things, I had that as green. Angle T congruent to angle G, I had that as yellow. And let's see, I had a pink here, right? So segment CT was congruent to segment DG in green. So this is what side angle side looks like, SAS. So this is another shortcut way for proving triangles congruent. Again, my end result is to get to triangles congruent. So if I just have these kind of markings in my picture, if I have a side, an angle, and a side in that kind of order, the triangles are congruent by SAS, side angle side. So if I would look for the wording on it, I want 2 sides and the included angle. So let's see if I can find that one. Let's see here. You found it? Okay, good. So let me keep sorting here. I've got mine in a mixed up order. Here we go. Should have this one. So again, keywords here in this concept. It says if there exists a correspondence between the vertices of 2 triangles such that 2 sides and the included angle of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding parts of the other, the 2 triangles are congruent. So again, this is another side angle side card. So this is the wording behind this particular method. Okay, again, this is called side angle side. You have 2 pairs of sides congruent and the pair of included angles congruent. So once you have these 4 cards, you're going to get another envelope. Bless you. You're going to tuck in the flap. And again, you're going to put these 4 cards in your envelope. Okay. Everybody good if I put them in the envelope? Nope. Okay. Okay. Okay, am I waiting on anybody else? Nope. Okay, so I'm going to put them in the envelope in any order. Okay, so this one on the front, it would make sense if we write SAS for side angle side. And then if we draw an example of what it looks like for quick reference, if we need more specific reference, we can always get the cards out. So we'd have a side, we'd have an angle, and we would have a side. Side, angle, side. That's what that looks like. It is possible for them to share a side too. So if I'm trying to like do a quick reference of what side, angle, side. If I think back to the previous picture I had on the other envelope, side, angle, side could look like side, angle, side that way too, if that helps. So again, inside would be more specifics for each one. Outside, we're going to have like a quick reference. So again, if you like color, here's sides, here's the angle, and here's the side. We're going to be doing a lot with these methods over the next couple weeks. This is just the beginning. So at this point, we have 2 envelopes finished. We're a third of the way through them. Okay. So we're going to put them off to the side. And then which one you want to do next? Anybody got a preference? We got, what, 4 left? ASA. Okay, so let's do ASA. So everybody find your ASA cards. It's not standing for Amateur Sports Association, for those of you who play sports. Okay, ASA, if you think back on how we've been doing it so far, it stands for angle. Side angle, very good. So in general, we need 2 angles and a pair of sides congruent. Okay, so see if you can find the picture that matches angle, side, angle. We have a few less cards to look at now since we've already used, 8 of them. So see if you can find the one that you think looks like angle, side, angle. Okay, I found mine. Okay, so the reason that this one is angle, side, angle. Do you see how the side is between the 2 angles that are marked? Everybody see that, what I'm talking about? This side is between the 2 angles over here. This side is between the 2 angles. Notice the S is between the 2 A's, right? So this would be angle, side, angle. So on the card, in case I dump it over upside down and shake it and all the cards fall out, this is going to be angle, side, angle, ASA. So again, if you like color, we can use color. So here's my angle. I'm going to have the side. And then I'm going to have my angle. Got my Mr. Sketch smelly markers over here, so quite a variety. Okay, so next, let's find the written out part. It's not this one, because this one has 3 angles, right? We need 2 angles and a pair of sides. So let's see if we can sort through that. Okay, this one is not it, because it says that AC would be congruent to DO. Notice in my picture, is AC marked? No. Is DO marked? No. So it's not that one. If I look at this one says AT is congruent to OG. That's what I marked here in green if we're color coding things. Angle A is congruent to angle O. I had marked that in pink. And then finally, angle T is congruent to angle G. I marked that in yellow. So this one is, again, angle, side, angle. It does not, when you're listing them out, this is a good point to make. It doesn't have to be listed in order. Like, you don't have to have an angle first and a side second and an angle last. It just has to correspond to the picture. Okay, so that's what that looks like, angle, side, angle. And again, I'm going to end up with congruent triangles at the end. What now? Okay, so SAS, which one are you looking at here? The picture? This one. This was SAS. Okay. Okay, so then last but not least, we need to find the one that's got the words on it. Okay, so it should say something about two angles and the included side. It's the included side because it's actually between your two angles. So one says non-included. We want the one that says included. So this one, it's not the hypotenuse because we don't have a right triangle. So this one, notice it says you have, if there exists a correspondence between the vertices of two triangles such that two angles and the included side of one triangle are congruent to the corresponding parts of the other, the two triangles are congruent. So again, this one is angle, side, angle. This is what ASA abbreviated looks like. This is what the picture looks like. This would be like given information for the picture, and this is what it would look like in terms of words. Okay, so once you have all four of those, you're going to get your third envelope ready. Okay. On your envelope, obviously you're going to write ASA for angle, side, angle. Okay, everybody good with the four cards before I put them in there? Nope, okay. So once you have them, you're going to put it in the envelope. And then we're going to put a picture on the front for quick reference. Okay, everybody good now? I know. Because there's a false category. So we have a couple things of what false looks like. Okay. Okay, everybody good now? Okay, so I'm going to put them in the envelope. Okay, so on the envelope, I'm going to put a picture of what it looks like here. So quick reference. So this one would be like an angle, a side, and another angle. Okay? Now another way it could look is something like this. I'm trying to give you variety. Okay, so this would be like angle, side, and then notice that I have vertical angles in my picture. Remember the X? So I can always add vertical angles to my picture. So again, this is what angle, side, angle looks like. I would have like two quick references in the front just to make it easier for you so you're not always digging out your cards. So again, angle, side, angle. Okay, everybody got this? Okay, so what we're going to do, we'll take a short break here maybe because this is taking longer than I thought. So before we go on a break, I want you to attach these three. This one? Okay, so before we go on break, I want you to attach the three envelopes to one side of your notebook. I'm actually on page 24. Okay, we good now? Yeah. Okay, so the last thing I added was when we were together last, we had these pages. So if I flip to the back, I want on the left side, put the three we just did. They may have to overlap just a little. So you can either tape or glue them down, but make sure you can still get into the pouches. Everybody understand what I'm saying? So you're going to tape or glue these three down to the left side. Okay, and we're going to break here, and then we'll come back and do the second half.